right, you guys, welcome back to Views and Vibes. I'm sitting here with a wonderful artist that you just had a chance to see perform, Teisha Marie. Welcome to the show. So happy to finally have you here. You know, this has been in works for the past 3 years, and finally had you here.
Finally, and it's definitely good to be here. Thanks.
It's a fantastic performance you guys did. I love your band.
Thank you. And that's not even everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we have to see the whole group together. Yeah. Now, where did you start off? You were born in England.
I was born in England,
Okay.
Norwich, England, Air Force brat. And then from England, after a year, we went to Jersey. And then after that, went to Germany.
So you ran out of Jersey. I know how that is. You just got to get out of Jersey.
Yeah, we just left, right by Cherry Hill. And then we went to Germany and stayed there for a little while. And then came back here to Alexandria and then moved to Prince George's County. So here I am.
All right. Now, when did you start singing? Were you singing while you were in Europe or?
That's a great question. Actually, in the choir, yeah, that counts, but not professionally singing. I didn't really start professionally singing until about 2006, 2007.
But when did you realize you had a voice to sing?
I never was really told that.
Really?
Actually, yeah, we used to, around our house, have like little mini talent shows that we would do. I had a little toy piano. I thought I was Schroeder. And I would, you know, put on little shows for my family, line up the teddy bears and things. But music was just always a part of my life. So it was never, you know, you've got something, keep going. And then I started taking piano lessons, and I took violin lessons.
Wow.
And, you know, just blossomed from there. And actually, my family didn't even really discover I could sing until my cousin's wedding. And I'm a full-grown adult by this time.
Okay.
And they're sitting there just, you know, my cousin's walking down the aisle, and they're just, that's Teisha. You know, she's singing, but they had no clue.
Now, what about the instruments? How long did you actually play violin, piano? Did you continue to learn that as you were growing up? Or?
Yeah, I continued to learn that as growing up. Actually, I still play now. And I started when I was 9, so we've been in this now for about a good 20 so years.
So when you were being influenced by music, were you more influenced by the music you were hearing in Europe? Because in the 80s, you know, you had the whole Sade, you had Loose Ends, you had this great resurgence of soul music there that wasn't here.
Yeah.
So were you being influenced by music over there or here?
Definitely, I would say there. You know, AFN was the Armed Forces Network, which is the radio. So every Saturday, you know, you'd hear Casey Kasem, and he'd do his top 10 countdown, and I'd hear, you know, Journey and Sade and Loose Ends, but all of these, you know, Huey Newton, you know, not Huey Newton, but what's his name? Huey Lewis.
Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah, the News. Thank you. See the News, the Newton,
that'd be something
the association.
Right. Yeah. It'd be a whole different thing.
Exactly. But just hearing all those different artists, Anita Baker, my parents wore that album out. You know, so that was definitely a thing. So coming stateside, when I started hearing Run DMC, it was just, it turned my whole world all around. I said, you know, what is this? You know, Stephanie Mills and growing up with all these others, it definitely made a difference in terms of what I was listening to.
Now, you went to high school locally, right?
Yes, I did. I went to Zuplin High School.
Zuplin High School. Were you singing there as well? Or?
I did not sing there at all. Actually, I was in the orchestra.
Okay.
So, you see,
playing what?
I was playing violin.
Okay.
So singing was always, you know, something I did, you know, in the church, a part of the choir, but never did to expose myself. I was not out front. I was very shy.
Okay.
Surprisingly, and easily, you know, when you're in a band or, you know, an orchestra, you're just playing your instrument, so you have something tangible. But when you're behind the mic, you're completely exposed.
Right.
And I wasn't ready for that. Okay. Then.
So when did you actually come out of your shell for that? Was that in college? Because you went to my sister's school. You know that, right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I went to Lincoln, and our sister's school is Spelman.
Yes, yes. I did. They didn't tell us that piece, but yes.
Yes.
Good to meet you.
I know. A lot of people don't realize that. We actually, people always say Spelman and Morehouse, but Morehouse is their sister school is in North Carolina.
Bennett.
Bennett, right.
Bennett College.
And you guys are with us with Lincoln.
Yeah,
so,
they did not tell us that, so what's up? Good to meet you.
So were you singing there? Did you come out of your shell there
I did not sing there either. Wow. You know, I'm playing in quartets.
So I was really grown when you started singing.
Yeah, I didn't, and I'm in Atlanta, of all places. You know, NDRE's big at this time. All the other artists coming out around that time are just huge, and I wasn't singing then either. Right. So I didn't really start singing until about 2006, 2007. Wow. I'd always written. I always did poetry. I used to have imaginary groups as a child that I created choreography and, you know, songs for, but never really actually exploring it. And I did not start until probably about 2006 because I was demoing an album. And I really wanted to sell the songs. These songs were not for me, but I said, who's going to know who I am? I have to record these songs. So I recorded them, and I was like, okay, I guess I should put this out for people to hear. People heard it, they loved it, and then, you know, here we are. I'm currently working on my second album.
So where were you when you were recording this?
Here, actually, back here in this area. Yep, I went to Philadelphia for a few years after college, and then came back to this area.
Okay. So you lived in Atlanta, you lived in Philly, and during this time, you had a great deal with music coming out of Philly, out of Atlanta. I mean, you even had, I love Julie Dexter, who's of course from Atlanta. She was doing her thing in Atlanta at the time. And then in Philly had, you know, that whole movement going on there. How did you like get into, or did you get into some of the music that was happening there and brought that back to the DC area?
You know, I think I probably absorbed it maybe by osmosis, honestly. You know, Floetry was definitely big at the time, Kindred the Family Soul, Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, all of these are, you know, emerging and they're definitely growing nationally around this time.
So you were hanging out Warm Daddies and all that? Hanging out
Warm Daddies, going to Black Lily every week with River and everyone else. Yeah, I was definitely on the scene, but I did not do anything. I even saw Jasmine Sullivan, actually, and wasn't even thinking about that at all, seriously.
At Black Lily, right?
Yep, at Black Lily. So I actually had the ambition of being an A&R rep. That was what I planned to do. So I was really working in the music industry. And then, I think it was, actually it was at a Kendrick concert. My friends, they asked who could sing, and it was here in DC at the 930 Club, and they asked who could sing, and suddenly I feel myself being propelled towards the stage. Next thing I know, I'm on the stage. I actually ended up not being able to sing that night because some guy was drunk, you know, acting crazy. And of course, you know, Fatine, who's the husband of the group, of course he has to protect his wife, which is understandable. So he took care of that, and I just stood there like, okay, well, I guess I'm supposed to be doing this because this is nothing of my own that I wanted to do, but here I am. So now I'm really walking into it. You know, I am an artist, I am a singer, I'm a songwriter, and I take that very seriously, you know, the power that it holds, and it's a gift, being able to bless other people.
Now, you do poetry as well, right?
I do.
So what came first, the poetry writing or the songwriting?
Both. I always had a song in my head. As a child, you know, I'd have songs for the birds I saw at the grocery store. I'd make songs up at school, songs to remember multiplication tables, you name it. So it's always been there. And poetry was also there too because I was in talented and gifted class. So we do creative writing and learning about cinquains and limericks and, you know, haikus and all those wonderful things. So it's always been there. And my mother, I have to give her credit because she gave me my first journal. She just said, you need to write. You know, because I was very expressive, be very angry and into myself. And, you know, from there, I guess it's just continued.
Well, I want to talk to you some more about, you know, your musical influences and what you're doing right now. We have to take a quick break, and we'll come back right after this break with more Teisha Marie right here on Views and Vibes. Yeah, I mean, that whole Philly sound, you know, I was
state of mind, moving to another level means I'm